Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Taekwondo. My name is Petra Verbruggen, I'm from the Netherlands, and I will talk to you about all kinds of video stuff and all streaming stuff and a lot of other stuff. And of course, if you'd like to support the show, then go ahead to go to taekwondo.net and /support. However, maybe you want to hold off for a little bit because I will most likely go to Patreon in the very near future. Welcome guys, really appreciate you for being here and taking your time, and a special warm welcome to people that are live and direct over on Facebook and also on YouTube. Eugene, welcome from Rhineland, and he's from the get-go of the first question, and like this is also Q&A, so you guys are also part of this show. So basically what I do with Q&As is that I have a few questions lined up already, and if there are some questions during the show, please go ahead and talk about it. But I do have something to talk about today as well. So how can you do an interview with one streaming bridge and two mini pros, one on each side? Our challenge is audio, and how can you establish bi-directional audio channel so that we can communicate? Thanks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so unfortunately I cannot show the whole thing there, but I understand what you're saying. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to use the streaming bridge as the starting point. The streaming bridge is a product that is this one right here. It is a mini converter, the ATEM streaming bridge, and it allows you to capture a network connection from the outside world or from the inside world, and then it on the other side, on this side, it will help you to put it either into your production via SDI or HDMI, and I will be having a more in-depth look at this product. I'm gonna promise you that. I'm not gonna tell you why. Okay, so I wanted to really also show it to you today. I'm just going to tell you right now. I wanted to show it to you today, but for some reason, I don't have access to my network connectors anymore at the moment, and it seems that it has something to do with a break-in, not here in my studio, but at the support of that of the system. And what they did was, oh, we have a break-in, all passwords are disabled. I just came around that like 5 minutes ago, so yeah, that's that for you. Be prepared. One good lesson. But I can tell you how this one works, and I can tell you how other people do that. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, and it's actually one of the videos that I want to talk to you about anyway, is that I actually maybe have a better option for you on that one. So, okay, let's start with that first. But before I do that, I also want to say a special warm welcome to Rob, who's also here. Cool to see you here again. And what? Yeah, let's not talk about it. Kathleen is quite a bad mess. It's like a few 5 minutes before the show. Oh, what is my password again? No, it seems that it's like a break-in, but there's nothing wrong here, nothing wrong within my studio. But what I typically have to do is that I have to reroute the whole network, and that basically takes maybe a day to do. So I want to do that during my vacation, which is coming up like mid-May. So then I'll probably have a day off and then really go through the whole network and setting that up again. But basically the whole reason why I'm saying that is that I have to port 1935 to be able to connect to it. I'm just checking because sometimes there's an issue, but it seems not to be the case. Perfect. All right. So first and foremost, I want you to know that, and this is really cool, is that, well, we're almost there. 493 people have subscribed to the channel on YouTube. That is really shy of 500. So that means that, yeah, just less than 10 to go, and then I can basically have a party. And I was thinking about how to do that party, and the party will be a workshop. But we're going to talk about that later. I am almost forgetting to talk about this one right now. So I'm going to talk about your question first. The ATEM streaming bridge. Sorry for that interruption there. The streaming bridge allows you indeed to have a point-to-point connection with a ATEM Mini Pro, Mini Pro ISO, Mini Extreme ISO, not with the ATEM Mini. Basically, all systems that have a stream button on it with an on-air button, that will allow you to connect to this one. Actually, it's not only the ATEM Mini series, also the Web Presenter, the new one, will also allow you to run via this streaming bridge. This is really powerful, and I'm actually really considering to use this for the church services moving forward, because it's really a good way of doing it, though it is locked in. It is locked into the Black Magic way of working. So you do need to understand that if you buy this, you cannot hook something else up. It needs to be specifically a Black Magic product, which is a bit of a bummer, but you can also use, for example, a Raspberry Pi or a Mac Mini or something, I forget the mini PCs. You know, the mini PCs. Those can also be used for that as well. So the NUCs. That's what I was thinking about. So that is what it does. It really has a point-to-point connection between the ATEM Mini and streaming and the other ATEM Mini on the other side via the streaming bridge. Now, to answer your question, Eugene, is that the audio is indeed delayed. There is a slight delay. It's like maybe 1 second or so. But of course, having a discussion with that delay can be a bit of an awkward thing. So what typically people do is that they use a Zoom call next to it. So they have a laptop with a Zoom, and then they have a headset in so that they can talk to each other and that they know what is coming. So one of the videos that I want to talk to you about at the later stage, but I can really just briefly mention it today because I want to prepare it, and I also want to have somebody on the other side to show you how it works, is that my suggestion would be to utilize Vmix Call for that. Now, Vmix is of course a software package, but having a Zoom call, that means that you already have a laptop next to it. So then it becomes a little bit of a hassle, to be honest. So why don't you just use a switcher software that is meant for that? Now, I am using Vmix. You know that. I am a Vmix person. But I also know that Wirecast also has Rendezvous for this. Though you can have a Vmix call already available to you for 350 euros for the software. So yes, that is quite expensive. But this product right here is also at least 250. So it's 100 euros less. But what does Vmix Call have? What this one doesn't have is that you can have, and this is audio terminology. They have what they call mix minus. And what is that? That's basically that you can hear the other side, but you cannot hear yourself. Because of the delay, you will hear that you will normally would hear yourself with like 1 or 2 seconds delay, and that's really tough to do that. I have been blessed to do it occasionally with 2 seconds delay, and it's really tough to stay on focus, stay talking, and just neglect what you hear, because it's really not the way that you are listening to yourself in normal situations. So what I'm going to do, if that is okay with you, I will create this video dedicated to Vmix Call and how you can incorporate that together with your ATEM Mini. Now that is with one caller. Then you have the Vmix Call, Vmix 4K, that allows you for, I believe, 4 callers, and then you've got the Vmix Pro, and that's 8 callers. So depending on which size of software that you have more than one caller. So that is really cool as an option there. And the beauty of it is fully integrated, and the other party does not need a ATEM Mini. It's not needed. The other party only needs a browser or Vmix, one of the two. So if you have Vmix, you will be able to also, for example, show your production like I do right now. I can show that right there, which is not possible if you only have the browser. So that is one thing. But with a simple browser on your phone or on your laptop and a webcam, and of course good audio, because that's important, it's already working. Which brings me to the next point, Eugene, is that I will be that's the celebration, right? If I reach 500 subscribers, I will have a workshop dedicated to creating a picture-in-picture on your ATEM Mini. And that's really easy, right? No, also, SuperSource will be animated so that you can have a picture-in-picture side by side, where you can zoom in to one side or zoom out and then go that way. So that is one thing that I want to do. I want to do that in a workshop, step by step, so that I will start with a clean slate, nothing there, and then really go through all the steps, step for step, and so that you can do it yourself and make it your own. Because why should I make this like something magical? Because it's really not. It's basically very simple coding, and I think it's really cool to do anyway. So that's what I would like to do for the 500. Now, that being said, so if you have two pictures, then of course you also want to maybe add a color, and that's why I want to combine those two in two separate videos, so that you have all the tools at your disposal to do that. Again, what people do typically with this, and you can also check that out with other YouTubers, like for example Aaron or Doug or Photo Joseph. They all use the ATEM streaming bridge, but they use Zoom next to that, Zoom or Teams or whatever. And I really don't like that. Why should I? That's make it simple, guys. Make it simple. So that is all about that. Mr. Johnny, hello. Can you show how you do the macros for animated super sources and live streams? There you go. I just said so. As soon as I reach 500 subscribers, I will make sure that you have a cool step-by-step tutorial, fully live, with you chiming in, checking it out. But we'll do two of those. One will be with the super source with all the animations going on, and one will be solely for people that do not have a super source, so that you can do roughly the same but without the animation. So that's, I think, still cool. Kathleen says, yeah, that's a project that takes time and focus. Yeah, we're referring then to the network installation. Yes, that's a lot of work that you have to do. Sneaky Pete, is there a way to connect studio monitor speakers to the ATEM Mini Extreme? I have not done that before, but you can, for example, use your headphone jack for that. Of course, then you're listening to the output of what you're also switching. If you are in the same room, then you're switching, and with the mini range, I can imagine that because of HDMI cables are typically not long unless you have the fiber cable ones that can reach quite some meters, but the smaller ones are limited. I think that it's going to be quite a challenge to do that, and audio is a challenge. I can talk about that from a personal gig that I had just 3 weeks ago or something. That was not going very well, I can tell you that. But I learned a lot from it, and what I want to do, if you guys like that, and please write that down in the comments if you are interested in it, I would like to walk you through my on-location setup, which is based on the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO and the ATEM Mini, and a audio interface, and also tele lights in case that I'm also working with cameramen and PTZ cameras. So there's a lot of stacking going on there. Maybe a lot for this. I don't know if you're interested in it, but please let me know by saying yes, I want to see more about your location set, or just say location set. That will be enough for me for now, so that I know that that is what you like to see. So yes, the only way that I think that you can do that. Oh wait, there's another way of doing it. I just realized something. There's another way, Sneaky Pete. Another way would be to extract the audio. There are also from HDMI to extract audio, but I use personally this one. This product right here. There you go. This is a SDI to audio converter, and it basically has on the back end the possibility to insert an SDI connector and outsert audio. So that is going to help you to have a full-on setup for your audio needs. So you can also use that, for example, for in-ear monitors. Yes, we will talk about that also. You can also use it for performing some really serious compression, limiting, and maybe adding some additional microphones for that are there for the public, for people that are watching the game or something. So yes, that's that. Hey, Steve again, what's going on, man? Long time no see. Really cool of you to be here. Dr. Yellow, my friend, how are you, sir? Okay, yep, you can't wait. Yep, we will definitely, again, once we reach 500 subscribers, we will do that as soon as we can. And yes, please, if you want to know more about locations, then this is basically what's going to work. And Sneaky Pete says also that's awesome. Thanks. Also, by the way, that the product that I was just showing you like in 2-3 seconds, that will be a separate video. So a lot of the things that we're talking about during the live show will be separate videos, because I think that live shows are more like a back and forth way of talking to each other. And the videos are more like, oh, I want to know something. Oh, this is the way that I can do it. All right. Now, we have talked about the amount of subscribers, and I also want to talk about other things, and that is some questions that came in, and this is one of the questions that came in via an earlier video. The supersource scenes in the DaVinci Resolve 17 project files are blank or black. How do you view a supersource as streamed in a program out file? That's a very good question, and I actually didn't know about that. So as part of one of the videos that is coming this week, and that's all about the ISO functionality on the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO and ATEM Pro ISO, I was actually creating some B-roll, and during that B-roll I was also using my super source that I created. And by the way, yes, you can have that code for free, so please go ahead and watch that video, like that video, and make sure to there's a QR code, scan that, and you will be able to download that file so that you can use that in your Extreme ISO as well. But indeed, that is a good question, and I actually did a quick validation on that. And let me remove the audio a little bit, and there you go. So this is a video that I am preparing. As you can see, this black screen is actually the super source that you don't see on that video. You can actually still use that, but then you need to use the program out file. That program out file does still contain the super source, but indeed, all your cameras are still available to you. So you can recreate your super source, but then you need to do some fancy work on the layout. So it's still possible to do it, but indeed that is not part of the project. So it becomes totally blank. So if you are using a super source a lot and you're expecting to have the full set as an ISO file, that's not feasible, that's not possible. However, all cameras have a separate video track, a separate audio track, and if you use media, like for example backgrounds or other things, you can also see those in the same folder. So that is really cool for that. Let me check. Daniel says SuperSource is not saved as an ISO file. That is correct, Daniel. Unfortunately, that is what we've seen, and that will also be part of that video that will be released very, very soon. I'm like 2/3 on the way for that video to make that happen. And what you'll see in that video is the full setup of your workflow. So starting from scratch, installing DaVinci Resolve, having issues to get it working because of some CUDA errors, installing CUDA drivers, installing the NVIDIA drivers. That's all in there. How you can set up your that's still here, your hard drive, how you can format it, what's the best format to use for it. We're also going to talk about how to how you can edit your ISOs in DaVinci. And am I forgetting something? Oh, and how you can actually use a FTP client to get directly from your drive to your laptop without the need of just removing that drive and putting it somewhere else. So that's all of those things will be in that video. So that's really cool. Steadicam says portable locations. That's my kind of thing. I know, right? We actually had a discussion on your setup in that tent in the garden. I still want to see that, but yeah, then COVID happened. All right, let me see. Have I yeah, I have everything. Okay, next up. Let me go to the next one. And this one is not really a question, but a remark. And I actually wanted to talk about that. So Paul is talking about DVEs and software control and Stream Deck, etc., etc. Basically, what he is saying here is that in order to utilize the ATEM Mini in a very good way, you do need to have some companion applications. Now, companion by itself is also an application name, but there are also other applications that can help you making it really cool. And I agree with that. I agree with that totally. But I am on a mission, and my mission is to make the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO being awesome without the need of a computer. During operation, mind you. So yes, you do still need to configure it, and having a laptop with that's totally fine. But during operation, I want to do as much as possible directly on the system itself without the need of having a Stream Deck connected to a computer and a companion app running and another app running and another app running and then H&R product. That's that kind of problem. But yes, Daniel, I agree. I totally agree. It is cool. And I don't know if I have enough space. No, I don't. But I am using Stream Deck for this show, right? So it's not that I don't like Stream Deck. Don't get me wrong. But my mission, and it's just what I think is really cool, is I want to make it as confined to the system as possible. And the reason for that is that I want to use my ATEM Mini also on the road. So the less that I have to bring with me to make a cool show like this, the better it is. So that is basically also a hint of what I want to do, is that I want to bring this product along with me if I go to, for example, IBC, if that is gonna be a thing this year, I hope. Or maybe if I'm going to the States or somewhere else, I want to show that to you that it's all possible. So that's the basic thing. But yes, I agree. Stream Deck is cool. I mean the video files on SSD. Sorry, what is that? Oh, sorry. How much bitrate has every source from camera on ISO? That depends on your settings. So you can actually set up the quality of your recordings as well. And above that, if you own Blackmagic cameras, then you can also say to your ATEM software that it will kickstart a recording on the card itself in the camera for the best product that you can have. So yeah, Steadicam, yep, I know. IBC, I hope so too, but I don't know. It's really like, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen. Daniel says, I agree. I agree here. I want to be PC as possible. I agree here is want to be PC as possible. Best so far is P14, but sorry about that. I'm trying to struggle for that. I agree here is want to be PC as possible, but so far is a P14, but hope at some built in Blackmagic. Oh, Raspberry Pi? I don't know what you're saying. Sorry, Daniel. Maybe you could you rewrite it, please, so that I can understand it. Sorry, I struggle with what you're saying. So that is what I was saying about that. Yeah. Next. Yeah, that we already talked about that. So that was the question of can you show the super source? Yes, I can. How I do it exactly as I do it. You will know that once I reach 500 subscribers. So those were the questions that I had. Now I also had some remarks that I have prepared for you, so that you know what is coming up. Because last week it was a little bit of a lay down week, not because I wanted to, but there were some issues. Like I said, having some issues with the DaVinci Resolve installation, which meant that I actually wanted to also record it for you guys, so that if you run into the same issue, that you know how to fix that. And next to that, I also had, but that was yesterday, a problem with my beautiful cat. He was a little bit ill. He is doing okay-ish today. Is getting way better. If I look at yesterday, I would say he's almost back to normal. But yesterday he was a very afraid and sick kitten. So yeah, set up your ISO workflow. That is going to come. I also will talk about a cool way of showing animated backgrounds. So if you have a picture-in-picture and you want to have something moving in the background, I'll show you how you can do that together with the ATEM. Again, without the need of a computer. At the moment, I am actually using my computer to run that background, but I'm going to show you a way to do that. And without begging your buck, in the sense that yes, you have to pay for something, you need to have a player, but it's not a very expensive one, so to speak. Then I'll show you, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, the new Extreme stand that I purchased from Aaron Barecki. You probably know him. I am really looking forward to that, to show that to you and show what you can do with it, how it looks like, and if it's okay or not. Because I already have the ATEM Mini stand, I have to admit that my ideas about it are very high, so I think it's really good. But let's see. Next to that, like I said, at 500 subscribers, I will give that workshop, how to create animated super source macros on the device itself. And yes, again, you can also have more animation, but then you need companion and other stuff like that. And I don't want to do that, so that's the reason. Then also, again, like I said, without super source, so just the normal picture-in-picture. Then I'm literally reading it up. How to bring in guests. Yep, we just earlier today talked about it, so I will walk you through the Vmix setup, how you can use it, and I will also talk to you about that you don't need to buy the $700 version to do that. You can go away with the $350 version. Again, a lot of money, but if you also have to buy this one, it's not that bad, to be honest. Then I have a video on budget-friendly lavaliers, so that you can directly hook into your ATEM Mini, all of them, doesn't matter which one. Then hopefully by that time I will have my Hyperdeck, because I purchased the Hyperdeck Studio Mini. Look it up. But it's already 3 weeks in back order, so I don't know when it's coming. So I have been waiting for it to come, because then we can really talk also about other really cool stuff as well. Of course, I will also talk to you about how to best set up your ATEM Mini with your Hyperdeck, because that's really cool. It's just a matter, if you want to start a clip, just enter, for example, camera 8, and it will automatically roll that video. And last but not least, you might see that I know a little bit about live view. I will also talk to you about how you can use a live view solo with your ATEM Mini and being on the road. And I hope to do that when it's really good weather, because I would love to have a live show with you, not from this studio, but outside, really having fun and having like two cameras set up, totally on batteries. And I actually already think that I know how to do that. The extreme ISO, it's not going to work, but I think that the ATEM Mini will work because of the change in the voltage. So that would be really cool, I think. Wow. So a lot of things are coming. But you have to wait for it. Let's check. Okay, so sorry, Daniel says, sorry, I'm unclear. I don't want to use PC if I can, but 200 plus buttons is too much. So I need a better way to allow maybe Blackmagic to support I Stream Deck from the box. I can imagine that part. But don't be alarmed, Daniel. Yes, there are a lot of buttons, but the arrangement is really simple. Let me get the ATEM Mini for that. So this is the ATEM Mini and the ATEM Extreme. I have all hooked up for in case we have some questions. So if you look at this, you see that on this side you have, for example, camera 1, and these 6 buttons are, oh, there you go. These 6 buttons are connected to this one. These 6 buttons are connected to this one. Oops. These six buttons right here are connected to this one. And the same thing goes for the 8 cameras that you have on the Extreme. So yes, there are a lot of buttons, but they're laid out in a way that it's quite easy to understand. What is not so easy to understand is, and I forgot about that, is the select bus. That takes some time to get used to, and I will be talking about how you could utilize that in your workflow as well, in a separate video, of course, because this is quite a thing. Let me check. Live streaming gear is big fun and big dollars. Yep. Yeah, that is the case, Kathleen, and I really wanted to avoid that from happening. So, yes, sometimes you have to pay a little bit more money to get a really good experience, but I'm trying to limit that myself as well. Believe it or not, this is not a hobby, but, well, yeah, it is a hobby. It's a professional hobby, so let's just call it like that. This channel, I mean. Let me. Touch Portal have a plan to this integrate the control of ATEM. No companion will be needed. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Looking forward to that. Actually, I actually also have a other application that I'm working on, and that is the mix effect one that I have on my phone, and that's really nice because it allows you to remotely also fill in the stream information on your ATEM. So that means you don't have to bring your computer to do your streaming, which is really cool. Let me check. I saw on YouTube the properties of the file is 17 megabytes per second. And Daniel says, Mr. Jan, yes, but that's max of black image will be like way less. Yes, that's correct. So indeed, that what Daniel says is 100% correct. You can make sure that yes, it will create files of all of your cameras, regardless if there's something connected, yes or no. But it is compressing. So if it's just plain black, it will be very, very small in comparison. So yes, that's right. But it will still create that file, all of them. So what it will do in the ISO is that it will create 8 video files. It will create 8 audio files. It will, that's not true what I'm saying. So 8 video files, 8 audio files for the inputs. Then it will create a program out file, of course, with audio. So that's, again, a file. And if you use images, for example, stills or backgrounds and that kind of stuff, it will also separately record that as well. So there are a lot of files there. And one file is very important because that file is actually a project file that you can just open in DaVinci and boom, you have your whole stream, you have it in front of you and you can fine-tune it to be perfect. All right. Eugen, what's this sting button on the Slack bus on the ATEM Mini Extreme? Nobody knows. The thing is that the sting button does not work yet. We see that more often with Blackmagic products, is that they think about something that will come down the line, and it might be that this is a firmware update that allows you to start a stinger or to give something else. However, that being said, there is also a logo button, and that will allow you to, if you do have a DVE push, it will allow you to have, for example, a vertical logo, so that you can use that as a wipe across the picture, which is really cool. And I can show how that works. I actually did it this morning myself to see if I could get that working, and yes, I can talk about that definitely. On TV channels, hello from the UK. Welcome. How are you? Welcome from the Netherlands. Or 22 WAV files if all audio channels are split. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, Daniel. That's so a lot. But the beauty is that if you use it in DaVinci, it's not a big deal because it will automatically get the correct location, and it's okay. Logo is now clear. Yeah, so that's clear, but the stinger does not work yet. So if I understand correctly, ports without plugged cameras will be black, videos with less bitrate. Yes, with maybe not so much less bitrate, but the size is smaller because it does not contain any data. So typically what you see with compressed video formats is that only the changes are really stored. So if you have only black, then there's not really a point to store a lot. So yes, you still need to have something to store because they still will have occasionally every other frame a check marker to see what the status is, but it will remain quite small. That's it. Okay, yeah, so a lot is coming up, and so if are there any last questions that we can talk about? Otherwise, I'll just give you your Saturday back, because that's also important. Again, please, if you know people that want to subscribe to the channel, let them know that I'm here, and let's have a party together. And let's make sure that we have a cool workshop coming up. Let me check what the status is at the moment. So yeah, it's 493 subscribers at the moment. So that is not a lot. So just 7 more and we're there. Hey Brad, what's going on? All the way from Canada, eh? Did you see what I did there? Daniel, we expect it might be a smaller animation with audio called a stinger. That might be, yeah. So indeed, stingers will also be throughout the whole screen, right? So the difference between the logo is that the logo will go from left to right. Can I show that to you? Let me show that to you. If you don't, let me try to show that to you live. Let me get that cable here. So that cable is going a bit. Oh, let me get that out of the way so that you don't have to see that cable. Yeah. All right. Let me show you how that works. That one goes there. I have to switch on my Vmix PC in order to create a NDI source for that. Otherwise, I cannot bring it into this unless no, that's fine. Yep, we'll do that. Okay, let me do that quickly. Switching the ATEM on. Yep, it's on. We're gonna use this device. Then we're gonna use this device. Oh, where is it? A lot of cables, guys. That's a problem with a small desk, is that the amount of cables is getting out of hand, but that's fine. Okay, let's show it to you guys. So what I'm bringing in the ATEM output via capture card, which is the AJA UTAP HDMI into this computer right here. Then I will set up an NDI connector with my my production so that you can see what's happening. So it will be a bit shocking because of the constraints, but the real thing is going to be perfect. I can tell you, I've validated 100%, and it's really just my connection which is a bit of a mess. So that's that. I have two cameras connected. Let's switch this one on. Switch this one on. All right, two cameras connected. That one should be working now. Let's connect. I will show you what I'm doing. Well, let's do that first. So let's just say Vmix desktop capture. Okay, so I'm just connecting the whole computer so that you have all the. There you go. No, I don't want to have audio with that one, so let's do that first. All right. Boom. There you go. Now we're on this laptop. So I'm gonna add a camera, and in this case this is this one right here. It's on 1080 50p, and this is what it looks like. So here you'll have that area, and what I also will do is that hopefully I also now have the possibility to have a full screen on this one as well. And then I believe that I can actually show it to you in full quality. So let's try to get that organized as well. So there you go. All right, whoop. There you go. So now you have you're on that system. I will remove the audio a little bit. There you go. Okay. So now you're basically on this system right here, as you can see. And this is the reason, guys, why it's a bit of a mess. As you can see, it's quite a lot of cables, especially here. It's a lot of cables, but don't worry about it. And also, of course, we still have the macros that we can use for the super source. But of course, the camera 1 is not connected at the moment. But I can still go there. I can go back. I can go to camera 1. I can go back. So that is all working, which is really cool. Now, what I wanted to show you was about, what was it again? Oh yeah, the logo. That's right. So the logo is, let me get that. Can I show that to you? So here you have, there you go. Here you have a logo button right there. If I click on that, it states here Media Player 1. So what we need to do is that we need to create on Media Player 1 a logo. Now, I don't have a logo handy, but I can of course also connect to my ATEM. So I'll do that. I'll show it to you live. The extreme ISO, please. Thank you. Let's open it up and let's go to that. This one. Okay, so now you're on the ATEM Software Center, and if you go to upstream key 1, DVE, and you go all the way down. Sorry, in transitions I have to be. So in transitions, DVE, you can say, for example, that you want to have a effect connected, and if you click on that effect and you then select Media Player 1, then it will use this one right here as a possible logo. So if you create a logo that's just a vertical bar, then it is actually perfect, but I can actually use this as an example. So let's go ahead and move here and then move there. And then if I then do this and hit DVE and say auto, oh, that was wrong. That was wrong. What did I do? So logo and player. Something is wrong. Let me check. Ah, I didn't save. Media Player 1, Media Player key. Okay, enabled. Yeah, now it's working. Yes. Okay, perfect. Well, not perfect, but it's working. So now if I just make it very short and I do auto, whoop, whoop. Of course, this is not the perfect logo. I admit that, but it does the job. It does show you how it can be used. And that's a very quick show and tell how you can do that. Of course, then with a real logo and not with just a plain backdrop. Okay. Let me see. A lot of people have joined. Again, welcome, guys. Again, if you like this kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers so that we can have a cool workshop as soon as possible, and we can go into in-depth how you can set up macros on the Extreme itself. So I'm talking about this machine right here, on these buttons right here, how you can utilize those buttons to have animations without the need of a computer during operations. Yes, you need to prepare them with a computer, but not during the show. Yeah, and that stinger, we already talked about it. Bonjour from Belgique. Yeah, it's all, yeah, green key, multi-camera. My French is really bad, but I do see that you're from Belgium. And I do know you are talking about green screen and multi-cameras. and the extreme ISO. So I presume, and say oui or no if it's correct, but if you want me to talk about green screens and how you can set it up on the ATEM Mini, I will definitely talk about that. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Hello from Belgium. You can give us a multi-camera green screen tutorial in the coming days. Thank you in advance. Absolutely. Good idea. We'll do that. Thanks for translating it for me. My French is really poor. German is really good though, but that's it. Hey, Jason, my friend. What's going on, my friend? It's really good to see you. That would mean that Blackmagic will start supporting small video loops, maybe. Yeah, that would be really cool. And why not, right? Because on their ATEM 1MEs and 2MEs, they actually have the possibility to have these kind of very short loops. So I would not be surprised if that is the possibility, especially because it's actually using the super source. So I think that you might be right, but then again, I do not know. So let's see. I hope so. So basically this is a good, I like to have a big bitrate for plugged ports and low bit rates or unplugged ports. I have the space on the SSD. Cool. Yeah, and really I'm now using a 250 gigs drive, and it's really already good for an hour, definitely. So that's really cool. And indeed, it's a T5. So I'm also using a T5, but not 2 terabytes, but just a 250 gigs. Yep, and I already talked about that. Yes, hello, welcome from Belgium. I presume that you're from Wallonian then. Hey, Luan. This guy is a youngster that is really doing a great job for his gaming, and he's from the same city. Go ahead and check him out. It's really cool that he is here. Thanks. Thanks for info. I will buy it. This will be great to record, stream 8 hours of DJ sets on our festivals. Ah, well, now I'm learning from you. So you are a DJ, Asad? You're a DJ, or what is your use case? Really interested to see about that. So thanks. All right. That's what I have in store for you guys. Again, if you have any questions, I have still 5 minutes to maybe answer one more question, and otherwise I will hope to see you on TechCondo. Hopefully next week we have 500 subscribers, so that we can really start to do that. I know that the videos will also help with that, so I will be pushing out the ISO one for sure. And maybe another one as well. But I have to admit that during the week, my time is very limited because I do still have a day-to-day job that I have to pay attention to. It's the way it goes. I'm not complaining, just let you know. But really appreciate you for taking the time, and I hope to see you next week. Again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and write them down so that I get notified, so that I can maybe also incorporate it in next week's Q&A session. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. See you around. Bye-bye.